I should start out by saying we have two city council members with us, Steve Levin and Diana Reyna. Welcome, both of you, wherever there you are. Good afternoon. New York City's job picture gives us a lot to cheer about these days. In January, the last month for which we have numbers, we created something like 21,600 new private sector jobs in the 5 boroughs, and that is the largest single-month increase New York City has seen in more than 12 years. Since September 2000, in fact. And under administration, we hit a new record high in private sector jobs in the city, and most of the new jobs we created have been, interestingly enough, outside of Manhattan. And that was a challenge, but we've met that challenge, and it's just terribly important that we make sure that all 5 boroughs share in the growth of New York City, and in fact, they are doing that. In 2013, we continued to outpace the nation as a whole in private sector job creation, and every day we're working to make sure that job growth continues in New York City for years to come. One New Yorker out of work is one too many, especially when we have many jobs available for those who have the right skill sets. And so we're working to close the gap by investing in skills programs that will keep New Yorkers competitive in the 21st century knowledge economy, and by improving access to information about open positions to job seekers, and by investing in business capacity to hire and train more workers. And today we're announcing a new multifaceted initiative that aims to do all of those things with a focus on bringing more jobs and more economic opportunity to low-income neighborhoods around the city. I don't think there's any city in the country that can remotely claim to have made the progress that we have done and we've had in this city. It is just so much greater than the national average and virtually every other big city that you almost have to have a separate chart to show us along with these other cities. And we've got to just make sure we don't sit back and say it's going to happen on its own. We've got to make sure that we keep building and keep investing and trying new things. And this goes back to when we started many years ago. We combined 2 city agencies. I remember getting a lot of grief because we combined 2 city agencies that got 500 people a year jobs, and it was the end of the world as we know it. Today, that combination gets something like 35,000 people jobs every single year. And so I think we've shown that the programs that we've been fostering have worked. And this is another great initiative that we're starting today. This new initiative is called LINK, L-I-N-K, which stands for Leveraging Innovations in Our Neighborhoods in the Knowledge Economy. L for leveraging, I for innovation, N for neighborhoods, and K for knowledge economy. It's a group of 8 programs. Some are geared towards assisting workers, others are geared towards helping businesses. And I want to describe briefly a few of them, which together I think demonstrate the range of services the initiative will provide and just how creative one can be if you really put your mind to it. One program we want to describe is Digital Work NYC. This one targets young people aged 16 to 26 who aren't in school and aren't working. A partner of ours on Digital Work NYC is the nonprofit Opportunities for a Better Tomorrow, who is hosting us today. And participants in the Digital Work NYC program will take part-time digital skills classes right here and complete paid online work for third-party digital companies. And in 10 weeks, participants will graduate with a professional certification and hands-on digital experience on their resumes, and we'll connect them to paid internships at city businesses where they can put their new skills to work. Some city agencies, like the Park Department, are also partnering with nonprofits to offer this program at their facilities. Let me remind those who get into this program, it isn't going to be easy. It requires hard work, but your future is in your hands. The city can only do so much, private sector can only do so much, but we can make opportunities available to you, but then you've got to seize the brass ring and you've got to work hard. And history has shown that if we do make things available, an awful lot of people in this city are responsible enough, are mature enough to realize, even at a young age, that they are responsible for their future. And I think we've shown that when you make these opportunities available, you really can make a difference. A second program that we want to describe is Immigrant Bridge. It is another innovative new link program. It helps immigrants who have high demand foreign language skills but who are having a hard time putting those skills to work in in the city's job market. For example, an immigrant New Yorker who has language barriers and no professional network or savings, but who has an advanced degree in engineering, accounting, or medicine. The Immigrant Bridge Program provides counseling, licensing help, low-interest loans, and job placement services to help people make the transition to higher-skilled jobs. I can't tell you the number of people that I have met who have great educations from other countries come here and they just cannot get the jobs that match their skill sets, even though there are people who need their skill sets. This is sort of a different problem from young kids who don't have the right skill sets. These are people who have gotten great educations elsewhere in the world and come here, and there's still barriers to them getting the kind of jobs, and we want to do something about that. It is a great loss to all of us. They don't have the jobs, and we don't have the value of their services, and this is a program to try to match those two. Another link program that will take advantage of the great ideas coming out of our tech sector by linking into NYC Big Apps competition. Specifically, we're challenging the digital sector to create apps designed to connect low-income New Yorkers to jobs, and that's important because many low-income job seekers don't have a computer at home to assist in job services, but do have smartphones. And the smartphones really are the computer of tomorrow. We're looking for apps that address real-world challenges of low-income job seekers. For instance, an app that allows children to create tailored job searches that accommodate their child care needs or their transportation needs or their skill set. And we're going to give out cash prizes from this one to the best apps in partnership with nonprofits, the Blue Ridge, Robin Hood Foundation, and Co2 foundations. Link programs geared towards businesses, I'm going to give you some examples there, include the Lift Entrepreneurship Program, which supports low-income entrepreneurs as they start and grow their firms. That program provides a similar set of resources to the business incubators we've launched around the 5 boroughs. But instead of focusing on a particular sector or industry, it focuses on low-income entrepreneurs. At the same time, another link program, the Business Innovation Challenge asks businesses and community-based organizations to find innovative ways to improve worker skill sets and economic mobility. And EDC will give out cash prizes to implement up to 15 of the best ideas, with 3 grand prize winners winning up to $100,000. So we think that with the carrot out there, people are going to really start thinking about what's useful and how they can deliver the service in a useful ways and useful time frame, place, and that this is going to make a difference. Our plan is to pilot these 5 programs and 3 others, which I don't have time to describe. Together, they'll cost about $10 million. $7 million is coming from EDC, and $3 million total from the Human Resources Administration and the Young Men's Initiative, which George Soros and I have funded along with city money. We expect the programs to serve more than 1,500 people overall, and the programs that are most successful will be continued and expanded, and those that don't work, we're going to drop them and get on to the next thing. Continuing to do something that doesn't work is the height of folly, and it takes away from other programs and new things, which we can try. We're not going to make that mistake. EDC has a dedicated webpage with information about all of these linked programs. When you're writing your stories, or if you want to find out for yourself or your friends, your family, go to EDC, and they will tell you about the linked programs for businesses, job seekers, and nonprofits. And the ways you can access that page is by visiting nyc.gov. Agency partners participating in these programs will also be providing information to potential participants, and these agencies include the Human Resources Administration, the Department of Small Business Services, the Center for Economic Opportunity, and others. And now we're going to hear from some of those partners. First is Seth Pinsky, president of the city's Economic Development Corporation. This EDC is the future of our city, and a lot of their programs and investments really will for decades provide the jobs and the well-being for New Yorkers. Seth?
Thank you, Mayor. At the direction of Mayor Bloomberg, a critical part of our administration's economic development strategy has been ensuring the expansion of opportunities for all New Yorkers, including, of course, the traditionally disadvantaged. Taking this directive to heart, EDC has spent the last 11 years developing innovative programs with this goal in mind. And that ranges from our technical assistance and support for minority, women, and disadvantaged business owners, provided through our Blueprint for Success program, which has taken, in its first year, 20 very promising companies and secured $5 million in city-funded contracts for them. Our efforts to develop new programs for immigrant entrepreneurs, like our Competition Thrive, which was recognized by the Maytree Foundation as an example of excellence and innovation in urban integration practice. And now, of course, our 8 LINK programs. This is a novel set of pilot programs designed to open new opportunities to people traditionally cut off from the most promising sectors of our economy by increasing awareness and access to existing job opportunities, by creating new job opportunities in new fields for those lacking in formal education, and by offering training in critical skills. I believe that these pilots in and of themselves will have a meaningful impact on the lives of hundreds of New Yorkers, but they'll also provide us with very useful information that will allow us to adjust these programs and make them more effective as we scale them. And for these reasons, we at EDC are extremely proud and excited to be a part of this initiative. I just want to conclude by thanking, of course, Mayor Bloomberg and Deputy Mayor Steele for their leadership. I'd like to thank our partners in city government, including the Human Resources Administration, the Center for Economic Opportunity, the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs, and the Department of Small Business Services, our partners in the City Council, including, of course, Council Members Reyna and Levin, and our very talented staff at EDC, which has worked tirelessly to pull these programs together. Thank you very much.
Seth, thank you. Next up is the Commissioner of the City's Human Resources Administration, Robert Dorr. Robert.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to say how proud and pleased HRA is to be a partner and a funder of this project, of EDC's LINK project. I also want to say that one of the greatest qualities of the mayor is that he, when it comes to issues concerning poverty and low-income New Yorkers, he says to all of us in city government, not just those like me in social services, but that all of us have to be involved in raising outcomes for disadvantaged New Yorkers. And that has been really one of the great qualities of the mayor's leadership. And that's why those of us from social services or the city council that are always in these sorts of things are very pleased and proud to have Seth Pinsky and EDC with us, because without him, with him, I think we are that much stronger. Finally, I want to thank Deputy Mayor Gibbs for helping to keep everybody on point and keep at these focuses, and Deputy Mayor Steele. So thank you.
Robert, thank you. Kirsten Morse, Executive Director of the city's Center for Economic Opportunity, otherwise known as CEO. Kirsten.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations to EDC and HRA for the launch of these 8 important programs. The Center for Economic Opportunity develops new and innovative anti-poverty programs. We've done this with 20 different city agencies. We're proud to be working with EDC on this particular slate of programs. We think that these programs are both genuinely innovative, but also include a lot of the strategies that we've found to be most effective. They're working directly with employers in high-demand industries. They're working with young adults to help them to gain needed experience and credentials, and they're working with stellar providers like OBT. Our role in this project will be to support EDC in the evaluation of these programs. Like the mayor said, we're looking to measure whether these programs work. So we'll work with them to measure real employment gains and earnings, and of the programs that are most successful, we're looking forward to supporting the longer-term sustainability and expansion of these programs. Thank you.
Kirsten, thank you. City Councilman Steve Levin. Steve.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I'm very happy to be here today. This is probably the 3rd or 4th time that I've had the opportunity, the pleasure to stand with the mayor as he's announced new job opportunities programs, and those are just the ones that have been in my district. So I really think that this is a testament to the Bloomberg administration's tireless efforts and really seeking to expand the ways in which we can help New Yorkers, disadvantaged New Yorkers, find opportunities, find employment, upgrade their skill set. The team at EDC has just been fabulous and really tireless in their efforts. And so this is a really fantastic day, and I'm very happy to be a part of it. So thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And City Councilwoman Diana Reyna. Diana.
I just want to take another opportunity to thank all these city agencies and partners in the private sector, both as well as the public sector, to be able to come together under the leadership of our mayor. You're standing in one of the highest chronically unemployed and underemployed zip codes, 11206. And it's important for you to understand as we continue to think of innovative ways, what we're ultimately doing is making sure that we're leaving not one New Yorker behind in accessing pathways to workforce opportunities and career ladder opportunities. It is important that we can make the distinction and building our middle class of tomorrow. And so this is just another example of how we can disagree and agree to build a better New York City for everyone in the city of New York. I want to thank Seth Pinsky, EDC, for their innovative ways as we see Blueprint to Success working. It's one of the better programs I've seen, building capacity for MWBEs, who then, as they grow, will employ New Yorkers tomorrow. So thank you. And to SBS, I know that Commissioner Walsh is not here, as well as Commissioner Dorr, for all of their leadership in making sure that we're responding to the needs of New Yorkers. Thank you.
And you're right, Walsh is one of those that really has made a difference. I'm sorry I couldn't be here. We have nonprofit opportunities for a better tomorrow hosting us today and being a partner in our programs, and its executive director, Randy Piers, is with us. Randy?
Well, welcome to Opportunities for a Better Tomorrow. For 30 years, we have been providing education and job training programs for young adults. We are honored to host this event here today. I want to thank Mayor Bloomberg and Seth Pinsky and EDC for investing in these initiatives. OBT is leading one of those initiatives, Digital Work NYC. It's a very interesting program because it leverages three things that young adults respond to. First is technology. So as the mayor initially had said, a lot of these kids are young adults who are out of school and out of work, but they're not disconnected from technology. They're still, have their smartphones and they're plugging away on all these other apps. It leverages technology. It also leverages stackable credentials, things that could be put on a resume. So in addition to the Microsoft Office specialist certifications and National Retail Federation's customer service credential, there's an online work provider, a company that we partner with that provides opportunities for these young adults to actually do work online. They get credentials for each task that they complete. And the third part of this program that makes it innovative is it's earn while you learn. So when they're actually doing the online work, they're learning and they're earning some cash as well. These are three things that make this program very innovative, and we think it has a long future ahead of it, and we're going to see some more of these type initiatives throughout the entire Link portfolio. I want to acknowledge you're going to meet one of our employers in a moment, because at the end result is that we get these young adults jobs, hopefully jobs in the private sector. You're going to meet an employer in a moment, but we also do internships with digital media companies. Dashbid is here. Eshan, I would like to acknowledge Eshan, one of our internship sites from Dashbid. They do digital advertising specifically for publishers. They leverage social networking technology in order to assist these publishers in getting their message out. And I'd also like to acknowledge our training partner in this endeavor, which is The Lamp. They are one of New York City's leading media literacy providers, both in school and out of school. And DC Vito is here from The Lamp. Thank you, DC, for your support. And lastly, I'd just like to acknowledge three graduates from our first cohort, which just graduated a few weeks ago. So if you could just take a moment. Ahmed Riaz is here. Ahmed, David Williams, and Francis Washington. All... Stand up. So not only have they graduated this first cohort of Digital Work NYC, all three of them are continuing their studies and have enrolled in college, and they're going to pursue higher education. So thank you to the three of you. This is what it's all about, and we're happy to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. And with us today is one of those employers, John Dockery, CEO of Cambridge Corporate Services, which is a leading tech service provider for large corporations. It is one of those private employers who've hired a graduate of the Digital Work NYC program. John?
Thank you. I am delighted to be here. My name is John Dockery. I grew up in Brooklyn. I was the son of Irish immigrants and 7 children, and opportunities that were provided allow me to be successful in the marketplace. I run a company called Cambridge Corporate Services, and we do back office services for major companies in the city. And I'd be happy to say to you three here, we actually, Mayor, have to adjust the statistics one bit because we have one more graduate who started working today at Morgan Stanley at one of our facilities, Jocelyn Aponte. So she couldn't be here because she just started work. We're delighted. We're at the end of the food chain. The mayor comes along, sets things up, supports it wonderfully, and then this wonderful organization, Opportunities, trains people who may be struggling a bit in terms of getting jobs. And then when they come out the door, we are there whenever possible to hire them, to change lives so that they can have a life, their families can have a life. And that whole domino effect changes at this moment because of this man, this organization, and a lot of the employers in the private sector out there who are opening their hearts and doors and employment roles to hire folks who have come through this great program. So I am delighted to be part of it. I am a big fan of this man who is willing to take on major challenges like this and do things with Opportunities, and also to take on obesity, the gun control issue, do things at Randall's Island. I am your biggest fan, and thank you for having me here. Michael.
I did not pay him to say that. I only wish that you had been in the first skit Saturday night. Although I will say what I don't understand is they vilified me. They said I was the worst thing. They said they were going to be happy to get rid of me. And I went backstage and everyone said, "You're doing a phenomenal job. We're going to miss you." I don't get it. Let me just summarize for our Spanish-speaking New Yorkers. Nuestra ciudad ha creado un número récord de trabajos en el sector privado y la mayoría de esos trabajos han sido en los 4 condados fuera de Manhattan. Hoy estamos anunciando 8 nuevos programas para conectar a noriqueños de bajos recursos con oportunidades de empleo en entrenamiento. And with that, we'll be